Wait, good morning, everybody. Very, very excited for today's stream. Not sure exactly how I got here. I was, so I was working on the Is It Hellraiser list we were talking about. I was working on Tyvar Elves last night. I wasn't feeling that inspired, to be honest. And I just, like, started to look at Terminus. So I was looking at Terminus again. I was like, man, I really, really want to cast Terminus. I want to cast Terminus so badly. And so I just kind of like searched in the cards on top of your library. I think those are the words I I searched was top of your library. Just like, I don't know. I just hoping that I missed some way to like set up Terminus, and that's not the Phyrexian put a card on top of your library spell. And then like scrolling, like I saw Cottage, and then scrolling I saw Calibrated Blast. Cottage, Calibrated Blast, and I'm like, oh, huh. And you know, this is the especially like after the Aether Mage's Touch version, where you know we're using Cottage to set up for Aether Mage's Touch. And I'm like, holy shit! Is setting up Cottage for Calibrated Blast just like so much better? It seems like it's maybe just so much better. I do want to say that this is still an early draft. I think that this package of cards could go to a few different shells. I started off building the deck as like a Ragavan Obosh deck, with no Scion of Draco, just 4 Blast, 4 Shadow in Obosh, and kind of the same way you're playing All Will Be One combo and like an Obosh shell. You're playing this combo instead. I thought about playing both combos, but I think that I really wanted to play the Domain package because it gives you access to Scion of Draco, which is, you know, kind of a medium card, but it's actually really nice that Scion of Draco just dies early. This card dies early, and then so you play on turn 3, it dies. Then on turn 4, you can Cottage it back, Calibrated Blast for 12 damage. And then the Domain package also gives you Leyline Binding, which is like obviously a super premium card, answers like some hate pieces too. And then Shadow Prophecy is a huge one, where this is going to dig you for your Calibrated Blast really hard and mill over Shadow Prophecy or Shadow of Mortality, Sign of Draco. You also have a couple other ways to like loot your Shadow of Mortalities away, 4 Spiral, 2 Fable. This split, I'm really not sure of. I'm really not sure of this split. I'm favoring Seasoned Pyromancer for 2 reasons. One, it stabilizes a bit harder, which I think is kind of important when you have access to this combo. And two, it's a creature in your Witch's Cottage deck, so you can Cottage it back. And you have and also like one other thing is like your Fables are worse in this deck without 4 Seasoned Pyromancers because you have less things to copy that are good to copy, if that makes sense. That being said, the double red on Seasoned Pyromancer is like a pretty serious issue, so could definitely see that changing going forward. I think the bolts are really important, so you can like finish your opponent off. So we're playing bolts as our other removal spell. Some furies to stabilize early. It can also be a good card to Cottage back. 3 Fury Madness. We're running a chat. We're running a chat. We're running it early. It's okay. It is okay to play 3 Fury. It's okay not to play the full 4. All right, I woke up. This is one of those days that I woke up really excited. Really feel like I've got something special here. Again, this is an early draft of an idea that I think has a lot of potential. What main deck Emrakul could we think? So Emrakul doesn't actually work with the Cottage plan, because you get Emrakul in the yard presumably, then you Cottage, put it on top, but that shuffle trigger is still on the stack. So you would have to already have Calibrated Blast mana at hand, which is like very difficult to do when you are. Like, you know, if you, I guess it would work with like Fable exactly because you would like discard the next turn. Sideboard, yeah. I mean, I don't want to go too hard over the sideboard because like sideboards of first drafts always are a bit rougher. But I think Path of Peril is really important to deal with Sanctifier and Vec. Rhinos is on the uptick, so it's kind of nice there. I really hate about Dermotaxi is it doesn't have a crew cost, or it doesn't say crew on it. Why doesn't it say crew? Why is it tap 2 creatures to become a creature? I think all vehicles should have the word crew on it. I don't know. Maybe not. But just like from like a design perspective, I really dislike that aspect. Oh, the mirror. Fit a crew, become a 0/0 and die. Yeah, you're right. I guess. Okay, so it's actually great that they discard the Scion, because then I can Calibrated Blast it. Like, best card for them to discard, probably. So I can bolt them down to 15, and this is 12. I'll probably bolt them here. Although I'd prefer for them to take the bolt than the blast. But Calibrated Blast, this card has flashback. Alright, let's go ahead and zap them. So they crack their fetch, they're dead to blast on Scion. Looks like we're up against Scam. If we get Blood Moon, that's not very good. We can at least get our basic Swamp, though. And then we can YOLO Calibrated Blast. Put the planes in the sideboard. Ooh! That's an insane draw. Do you want to play my land? Favorite Thoughtseize art? I like the like the old border Lorwyn art. Those are the ones I have in paper. Another Shadow Prophecy, huh? I think I'm just going to Land Binding. Draw 2. 2 irrelevant cards. Well, didn't find a land in the top 4. Now I can't play my 5 drops. I think it's okay. Thoughtseize is castable, which is something. Get to flip our Fable. They're cut off on double black also, which is pretty good for us. And really good that we waited on our Fury here. So being able to hardcast Fury, kill their Fury would be really nice. I'm actually kind of surprised they're doing this turn when they could kill my Fable next turn. That being said, we may also just like not draw anything. We could also maybe chump block for a turn and like Thoughtseize. We'll see, we'll see. I really think to win this game I need to start hard casting these Furies. I'm gonna go ahead and cast this. Plan on jump blocking if they don't kill it. They do kill it. I could take 8. If I draw a land, next turn I can go Thoughtseize and maybe take an Undying card before they can use it to save their Fury and win the game here. That's an interesting draw also. So they've already used 2 Lightning Bolts. They don't play more than 2 Lightning Bolts very often. If I cast Fury, I'm really, really cold to an Undying effect. I think I'm just like not going to be too worried about 3rd Lightning Bolt. Okay, so the hand is pretty bad. That's okay. Let me take the Voidwalker. I guess I take the Grief. Because we have the 2 Furies in our hand, right? If you use Mystic Sanctuary, turn instant resource from top. This trigger increase the power of Murktide. Yeah, I think doesn't that come up in Legacy all the time? I would assume so. Okay, so it's probably not correct for them to have played this, because now I don't even have to worry about an Undying effect, although that's maybe like just too many levels for them to be worried about here. Not very often. Well, doesn't the blue-red Murktide deck play Mystic Sanctuary? Or I guess, maybe not. I know I've seen it before. Alright, nice to have a bunch of red cards, be able to beat Blood Moon. We have the best sideboard card against Blood Moon also. Basic Plains. This morning, I remember thinking I wanted to bring in Terminate in this matchup. Do I still think that? Yeah, I think we can get -2 Thoughtseize, -2 +2 Terminate. One copy of a small Emrakul 13 synergistic with Atraxa decks. In theory, sure. In practice, like, you just have to have like way more deck building considerations. Another thing is like Atraxa decks like are cheating Atraxa into play usually, and Emrakul mostly wants to be cast. And so it's like these like, you know, cheat Atraxa into play decks are really like you need to be like very in on your combo. Reasonable hand for sure. Did I make any progress with that Shadow Prophecy Breach control deck? Kinda. Snap immediately takes the Thoughtseize. So I guess we can infer that they have Blood Moon? Oh, it's like some kind of hate card, right? And we don't have a Marsh Flats, unfortunately. We can get our Swamp if they Blood Moon. Maybe dig for the Plains of Shadow Prophecy. But we also get with Force Spyro, with Fable, Wave Fury. Beat it last game. Can't Binding the Blood Moon, because like once they Blood Moon, you don't have Domain anymore. They took that Thoughtseize so fast, so I feel like that's like the only card that they're trying to protect, right? Could be wrong. Okay, so they must have an Undying effect here, right? They know my hand. So I'm just gonna Leyline Binding this instead of bolting, so that they can't protect it with an Undying card. Because ordinarily you'd think you'd want to use the bolt on the Ragavan, right? Well, I'm not sure they didn't cite it out, but just like if you're gonna like snap take the Thoughtseize here over like the Shadow Prophecy, I feel like surely that's the card you're trying to like force through. But maybe not. Yeah, we did 1-2 the last league. I mean, it's also like I punted a game, and then we played against Prowess, who had probably a bad matchup, and they also countered my Path of Peril right on time, unfortunately. Okay, so let's take Bloodstained Mire. I don't have anything to blast back. We can just leave the blast in the yard too. I'm honestly just happy enough to take a second Shadow Prophecy right now. But yeah, please no dunking on Ginger. It's okay. I like Ginger a lot. He and I like typically have a lot of different opinions. But that's good. You know, you can weigh what Ginger says. You can weigh what I say against your own thoughts and beliefs, and still playing around Undying effect. And form your own opinion. Wow. Yeah, glad you're liking it, Dylan. Okay, there's a Blood Moon. Thankfully we have red cards and castable Shadow Prophecy right now. So do I take this Binding over just like a random land that doesn't... I guess so. Like, there's like... We have a decent amount of dig still to find the basic planes. Although also like maybe even more important, you could just discard this to the Seasoned Pyromancer. Or I could also... I don't have enough mana to go Binding. It's a Prophecy into Binding. Could just YOLO a Calibrated Blast this turn. Kind of don't even hate that. Because I would maybe... I'm not sure exactly what I want to discard the Seasoned Pyromancer. I want to keep my bolts. I kind of want to keep the Prophecy. Someone said that the average blast damage is like 5.5 also. I kind of want to test that. Okay, I think all of those things, I'm just going to actually just jam the Seasoned Pyromancer. I'm going to take the level 1 play. Okay, and I'll be relatively happy I did. Just take the level 1 play. 5.2, yeah, something like that. And if a chatter said it, it's probably true. Okay. So now we're going to YOLO the blast in response to the Hidetsugu exile, I guess. Well, maybe... Or we could just play Seasoned Pyromancer plus Fable. I lose my Bolt if I do that, which is maybe okay. Also playing like a lot more into Fury.
I'm down to YOLO. Like, even if this doesn't kill them, I can hit, like, Fury, I can hit Leyline Binding, I can hit Scion. I have a lot of ways to, like, you know, put this game really in my favor here. Lightning Bolt. I can also deal 1. That's kind of unlucky. You don't have. We only have 1, 2, 3, 4 more 1-drops in the deck. We have 1 more Thoughtseize, 3 more bolts. Oh yeah, should have kept red open. I'm just like, my brain is like, this is my only premium land. Although, am I incepting that I don't have bolts in my hand though? Maybe I am. You're also up a game. I mean, I really do not subscribe to the philosophy of I'm up a game, baby. I can punt. I have to kill this because they're gonna draw a lot of cards if I don't. I'm up a game, baby. I can do whatever I want. Okay, so this cost 8. And I'll have 8 if I can attack with my goblin next turn. They know about the bolt from the Thoughtseize. Right. It was just a mistake then. A happy accident. Scion's pretty good here. Let me see what we draw. Ooh. I guess we can loot this away for value. Holding it is also, like, pretty good. I'm gonna hold it. I can, like, play it and flash it back next turn if I draw, like, a land. I'm also just gonna send here. I think they block here, take 5, down to 5, and then the Scion of Draco blocks pretty well. Only dice to, like, Fury, and, you know, worst case scenario, I just, like, take 5 and maybe try to blast, flashback, blast next turn. Although I'd have to draw land to do that. I can also just blast, flashback, blast right now. Which I know is, like, of course what chat wants to do. Double blast is lethal. I mean, it's not 100% lethal, but it is almost definitely lethal, isn't it? It's, like, really hard to brick on 2 casts here. Like, any Fury, any Leyline Binding, any Scion, any Shadow, and then, like, just, like, a combination of 5 damage total. Okay, just hit a Scion. Yeah. I think blasting for attacking is better because you kill a 3/3. Yeah, I think that's probably a good assessment. I was just kind of thinking I was still casting the Scion. Nice to 2-0 scam. Yeah, probably should have done a pre-combat. This just popped up. This match just popped up, right? Just like a second ago. Why is my opponent like a minute 20 seconds down on clock? Just lag, and I was just happened to be on the draw. You need sub for Fury. I only have 1. Well, the thing is, like, you know, to some extent, you're just like a value Mardu deck, and so you can play like almost anything you want. I'm not sure what is optimal. But the world is kind of your oyster. No, you can't cast Scion on turn 2. The only way to do that is to not play a mana base of all swamps, and I'm of the opinion that a mana base of all swamps is more important than playing, like, Breeding Pool. But casting on turn 3 is nice. You can go, like, you can, like, double spell on turn 3 with it, and then it'll die a lot of time, but that's good because you can just, like, set it up for flip next turn. Yeah, people have been asking for good Mardu decks for a long time, but sadly I'm just the Sultai guy. You know what can I say? I'm just the Sultai guy. Have I designed a cube? It's been a long time. It's been a long time since Spike designed a cube. I really, really want them to kill this. Oh, wait, do I want them to Archon? I want them to Archon, right? Because if they go tap out for Archon, they go down to 12, up to 15. Then I just bolt them, and then Cottage Calibrated Blast. That's 15. Doesn't DRC help with setting up damage? You don't really need help. The Cottage is just, like, it's just such a good enabler. I can't even, like, I cannot understate how good of an enabler Cottage is in this deck. So this is perfect. So they're going to, I think, creativity on their treasure token because that plays around removal. Or I hope, I should say. Okay, this works too. That works too. That works too. But do I have the ability to not get spell pierced? I think there's a good chance my opponent like taps out for a big creativity here, so I do think I want to wait. Do you ever instant bolt them there? I don't think there's a good reason to, because they're going to go to 12 by themselves. Alright, let's go for it. It's very, very rare to see the main phase fetch a dwarf token, though. If they and then they don't. Oh, they just played them out. The door. Never mind. I got baited. I mean, maybe I have to use my mana. I think. I don't think I can just afford to wait forever here. I don't know if it's baiting. Just my opponent's like, you know, playing slowly. Blast ya. Dude, I woke up so excited for today. I'm glad it's going pretty well. Baited with the binding. The problem with baiting with binding is they just, like, can't spell pierce it, right? I have 3 mana to pay. So I don't know what we're playing around. Okay, I probably want to bring in my Voidwalkers. Like Voidwalker a lot against creativity. Probably want some number of bolts. Like 3 bolts. Fury's not that good. Can you counter blast after cards revealed? No. But my opponent, because I Cottage, they know what card's going to be on top. Thought on Unctus. I like the Unctus deck a lot. I think the affinity list I had with it has a lot of potential. It's like the best affinity deck at like fighting through premium sideboard cards. And then I'm still working on the Unctus combo deck. I haven't come back to it for a little while, but there's still like a lot of... I can't believe I haven't cut. There's just too much to do. There's just like literally too many decks to work on right now. Like I feel like every day I've just had like a sweet deck that like any other stream would be spending like all week on these decks. And I'm very proud of the work we've done, but it's just like we just have like something new every day, and like a lot of good decks are getting left in the dust. Well, today we can maybe spend a bit more time with this one since my controller's broken and I can't play Dark Souls. But it's just been like really, really good. Really good month. Yeah, all will be one. I have an all be one list that's like maybe even the best version that I haven't even played yet. I just have a lot of eggs in the basket. No, I didn't. I know. Oh, my controller's broken. I've just been playing this every day, attacking, like pressing this button like 1,000 times a day for a few months, and like the button just is broken now. Wolf, 15 months. Thank you. Do you like any play more than HelloFresh? The quality of ingredients is about the same. It's cheaper, but you have a little bit more selection with HelloFresh. We're doing a cooking stream this Sunday. I had HelloFresh for longer too, so I have more of a sample size in the food. Love the art on Shadow of Mortality. My so interesting Birth Bushwhacker. I mean, of course, like we played very little of it, and we did pretty well with it. But again, it's just we've got a lot of irons in the fire. A lot of decks that again, I just feel like any other stream is spending like a week on any of these decks, and we just like maybe not a week, but we're just plowing through them. Yeah, I wrote an article about the budget version of the 8 Rebirth deck on Channel Fireball. I did a video with them too. I don't think it's been posted yet. Maybe it has been. Yeah, I bet the borderless one looks really good. I haven't bought any of these cards yet. May have to. Am I missing anything else? I I think I have Scions. My collection is finally sorted now. Andrea will be happy to hear, so I can actually go look. I may not own. I probably have a Savai Triome somewhere. Do you ever slow roll brews just to space out content in case ideas run out for a bit? Yeah. Like I like right now I have like 4 decks prepped that I could be like happy enough playing for a stream. But it's also like I typically just play whatever I'm the most excited for on any given day. So today it's like it's easily this one as what I'm most excited for. And then that it just kind of goes by that based on what I have prepped. And then a lot of the time, like I'll be really excited for a deck for a while, but the problem is I need the Discord outlet, so we'll keep the Fable here. Even though I'll be really excited about a deck for a while, like it'll just kind of like too much time passes and I just never end up playing it. And there's like a couple decks like that it just hasn't felt right to play, like Tyvar Elves. For some reason, it doesn't feel like the right day on any day. And maybe that'll change. Oh, dude, what's going on with my mouse? I think I pressed the sensitivity button. Lemon, thank you for the 19 months. Maybe these are the good old days. Yeah, I mean, I'm really, really proud of the fact that I've like I can't remember. Like, I don't know, I'm getting kind of stuttery. There was like a long dry spell, and that was like mostly because there just wasn't decks coming out. There was like 6 month period between like Magic sets coming out, but there was like a long time where I just like wasn't the ideas weren't flowing, and I mean this is always how it goes, right? The ideas flow for a long time, and then you know eventually I get stuck, and when we get stuck, we could just return to other strategies finally. But I like to spend as much time as possible just doing new stuff. Why not add this Witch's Cottage Calibrated Blast to the Scam Shell? Well, the reason why not is I'm just one man, you know? I'm just one man, and I have had this idea for 12 hours, like about 12 hours exactly. This is my first draft, but you could play it in Scam, you could play it in an Obosh deck. There's a lot of potential here. And we're like likely to do that. I think that this is a really good first draft. I'm really happy with where this list is at the moment. But I'm simply just one man. Yeah, this is the first deck we're playing with no 1 cards since 1 came out. I think we need to use our mana here. So we need to draw a Cottage. Thankfully, we have 12 fetch lands and 3 cottages. We can even play around Spell Pierce here. We can get got by Mana Leak. I think I'm discarding just both creatures here. YOLO. I think we're gonna cast this Shadow Prophecy instead. YouTube boy in the stream, am I living in the future? No, you've been living in the past. What's my favorite 1 card? My favorite is definitely Hellraiser. It's been like very fun. I think we've got 2 good decks for Hellraiser at the moment, and I've been working on several others. We've had several like less good ideas too, but like basically every time I put Hellraiser in the deck, it's the best card and it's really, really powerful. And then the issue is, of course, like balancing like the rest of your deck, having a high enough power level, cohesive enough game plan, because it does have like pretty strict deck building requirements. We got creativity on 1. So I probably have Mana Leak up, right? Let's look for a removal spell. Obviously can get Mana Leaks though. Easy decision. Bolt plus. But I can double blast next turn. Only one of them is going to deal 15. But I just need to deal 2 on the other blast. I'll be going to exactly 1 if they hit Archon here. If they mana leak this Lightning Bolt. Maybe they have Flusterstorm. If they have Flusterstorm, they've gone X equals 2. The go target for creativity is Archon or Atraxa. Still Archon. Some people play 1 Atraxa. I think 1 Atraxa is likely pretty good. Have you used Blast as removal? I think we did one time. So do they have Lightning Bolts? Dude, Flusterstorm plus Bolt would just be like... good shit, I guess. Because that's like literally the only 2 cards we lose to here. Good shit. Game 3. Fuck. X equals 2 would also kill me? No, right? Because I bolt one of the tokens. And they can, if they Flusterstorm, they can't bolt. Right? Oh, they just Flusterstorm the bolts, and then X equals 2 does kill me. Right. No, you're right. Okay, play for game 3. I think the Neoform Atraxas deck would be good to take to a larger event. I would recommend the Goryo's Atraxa deck instead. The Neoform one I don't have as big a sample size with. And it wasn't bad, but I do think that the other version was better. Yeah, basic plans for Blood Moon. With all the brews, their pet deck you have or favorite brew for the one set? Not yet, I think. Brought back or Faith's Reward synergistic with Bombardment? Probably not enough. Like, I don't know, like brought back is like double white and your sacrifice deck is almost impossible. So you'd have to be like, I don't know. Like there's a thought there, but it's like not fleshed out enough. We do have double Voidwalker. A lot. Like I like that this hand is good against Rin and 6. Let's keep it. Let's keep it. The stream deck outside has no moons. Okay, it's an out of date list though. I was messing with the sideboard a lot this morning. Never outbind for Dwarven. That's something I used to do against creativity. The more I play against creativity, the less I like that plan. You know, let's show Jeskai decks. I'm working on it. Kind of hoping to not see a Fable here. Lucky me. Or maybe getting like Prismari commanded. I also need to get a Triome. Lifelink on our Voidwalkers, huh? Kind of awkward with our Shadow of Mortality, I suppose, but that's okay. Third Path Iconoclast only called Anvil. I didn't get very far. I don't know. I think right now I have more like decks to work on and brew ideas and decks to circle back to than I have ever had. On stream. It is right now. Right now the kitchen is cooking. Did you do the math of likely to hit something big off blast? So the mean damage is like 5.2, someone said, and the median is like a little bit over 3. But it's also 100% with Witch's Cottage sometimes. How do we feel about binding? Oh, they're binding on the Scion. Okay, that's fine. I don't care about that. Literally, why are they doing that? Doesn't make any sense. Well, I guess let's, put lethal on the table. I did that already with the new Artifact Serpent. It wasn't very good. Stop lifelink. That's like just definitely not the priority in this matchup. I don't know. It's just a mistake. I think it's okay. Like I said, they can't Flusterstorm this. We get Spell Pierce though. Yeah. Every plate is literally just HelloFresh. They own a lot of the same companies. It's like packaged differently, marketed differently. Yeah, it is the same. I think I'd play this so I can play around another Spell Pierce Flusterstorm. Maybe they don't want to have it put in the graveyard for the blast. Maybe, yeah. Maybe. How do you gauge whether the brew is doing poorly or getting unlucky in the league? I mean, just, use the context from the league, I guess, right? Like our first league, I could have likely won my game against Rhinos, and I made like 2 or 3 mistakes in our game 3 that caused me to L. That's not going to be something that I'm going to take super hardly, and it's not going to be something that I'm going to really like think that the deck is bad because I personally made some mistakes in a moment. You take Bolt Spyro? I've already played my land for turn. We could just have the Calibrated Blast in the yard. I could also leave up Spell Pierce here. Now I want to be able to discard this Shadow, if possible. Maybe not. Just take them. Okay, not gonna just slam the Bolt here, but I'm pretty happy. Bolt upkeep. I think we can just wait for them to like tap out for something before bolting. There's like almost no risk though. But they can theoretically go like Spell Pierce. If we go upkeep Bolt, they can go like Spell Pierce Bolt, play Mountain, fetch Dwarven Mine, fetch Mountain, play Dwarven Mine, creativity on 1. Yeah, so really you just need like a relatively big sample size, but also like I can usually tell if the deck is just bad. I can that's something that's a bit easier to get a feel for if a deck is just not good. Like we also lost against like Prowess being an incredible deck, and we lost to Prowess. Dude, if they, yeah, I mean I guess like upkeep Bolt gives them one less draw to all this too. We should still win, right? Because we bolt them, they counter, they go to 4, I sack here, discard here, but then I just attack them and then flash back Calibrated Blast. Incredible, though. But they should still be dead, just flashback blast at any amount of damage. This card having flashback is ridiculous. And then, like, another thing, too, like, evaluating these kind of games, like, it's always, like, a big sign of strength for a deck when I'm playing a list that, like, I get my creativity opponent and drew very well all 3 games, and, like, I, like, narrowly lost game 2 to them having perfects, you know what I mean? And, like, like, winning anyways against a tier 1 strategy when they're drawing really well is, always a very good sign for me. We also beat Scam into Creativity, 2 of like the best decks in the format. That's always like we did hit a 1-drop. Good enough though. This is the second time we've Calibrated Blast for 1 for damage. For lethal damage. That is true. My opponent also, I think, messed up with the binding. Another thing to evaluate if my opponent's making mistakes, I don't know. Yeah, they were thinking about the lifelink. I think that's not the right call. Oh, I just realized you guys. I forgot that y'all can't see chat because of the HelloFresh. Yeah, we're just talking about what they could have maybe done instead there. Okay, let's keep this. Wouldn't you have gotten 1 more damage if they left Draco on an attack? No, the Draco was summoning sick when they bindinged it, so they took 3 extra damage. Fury against the Yawgmoth deck. Don't mind if I do. What happens at 50? Nothing. I'm incentivized. I don't know if I'm allowed to say how many numbers I'm supposed to get. It's probably fine. I'm incentivized up to 90 signups. That's when they stop paying me. Not a bad one. Looking for red cards. There's red cards. Ooh. Although I can Calibrated Blast for, I guess, 12 next turn is not that. Well, it's not that little either. Yeah, let's go Fury, pitch Seasoned Pyromancer, go 1/1/2, and then next turn I can go Lightning Bolt, Grist to kill it if I need to, or maybe somewhere else. But I can also Calibrated Blast, deal 12 to them, and then Hardcast Fury the following turn. Seems like a good plan to me. Have I played Cottage Reanimator since the last stream? I wasn't sure how new cards. So, as far as a Cottage Reanimator goes, I do kind of feel like you're not supposed to play Cottage in the Goryo's deck, and the Goryo's deck is like the version I'd play at the moment. I think you want to play Footsteps instead of Aether Mage's Touch. You know, I could, like, honestly... Do I just want them to Yawgmoth? I do think I should kill the Grist. It's like maybe a little too greedy not to. But if they Yawgmoth, there's like a really good chance they are just gonna like die because they pay too much life. We'll see, we'll see. Obviously wish I could have built on 15 instead, huh? We have the flashback at least. Ooh, love to see a Nurturing Peatland. Yeah, like, so they're going down to 18 here. I guess they have to draw... Oh, they're courting for 4, okay. And they're not drawing any cards main phase. If you draw a red card, you can evoke Fury, put in the graveyard, set on top. Oh, I already have a Fury in the graveyard, actually. Yeah, that's just lethal. Oh, no, it's... Sorry, that puts them to 1. They can Endurance Miss with my Blast. Well, I already have Scion on top. And they have to... They only get 6 looks at Endurance plus green card. After you target, will be able to answer... Or does it resolve directly? You can respond to target, but the card will already be revealed, is what they're saying in chat. I'm not sure what they want to, how they want to respond though. Endurance puts them on the bottom. Yeah, but yeah, this, again, the Scion is already on the top of my library right now. So right now the Endurance does nothing. But next turn, I can go Cottage, target Fury. If they do nothing, I put them to 1 life, and a Yawgmoth opponent at 1 life isn't like really doing anything. And then I just have double Fury to cast also. And oh, Endurance stops the flashback, of course. I don't know how I just totally forgot about the flashback. Oh, they thought I might target Yawgmoth. Right. So, bro, 32 months, thank you. Hope you're doing well. Okay, so if they don't find Endurance, they're gonna die. And they get not that many looks at it either. Endurance plus green card. Maybe they don't have green card in their hand. They found it? Let's see. Okay, so they didn't find it, now they're digging. Yeah, this is one of the best ideas I've had in a long time. I really just think it goes to show there's just a lot of ideas still out there in Modern. Down to 1. Well, I think now I want to Calibrated Blast before I put Fury on top, because I would just kind of like to draw another Fury, and they're just going to die. Shouldn't matter, though. What did they reveal? Another Blast. Oh, no. What did I revealed the Scion. That's funny. Obviously, any amount of damage is fine there. Slow of 32 months, clock with 23. Yeah, then binding also, like, increasing the mana value is also really sick. Kind of an incidental thing, though. Okay, so I'm interested in these 9 cards. Voidwalker is good against them, but it's awkward to bring in Voidwalker when I'm also bringing in the Path of Perils. Shouldn't be that big a deal, though. I think I'm cutting the Thoughtseizes. It's also true, I don't want to over sideboard. So yeah, maybe I'm just not bringing in the Voidwalkers because they're awkward here. And we can cut, like, 4th Spyro. Yeah, no, Path is really good against them. Kills Wall of Roots, too. Even with the Black Forest. Not a super playable card. I'm going to use the restroom. Be right back. Okay. We're going to keep this on the draw against Yawgmoth. What a great hand. If you Path of Peril with Voidwalker in play, can't you exile all undying creatures? Seems worth... Maybe, yeah. I don't know. I'm still kind of learning. Like, this is something that I will do a lot, and I don't really articulate this very often. But, like, when I'm playing a new brew, I just try different sideboard plans with the understanding that they're probably not optimal. So, like, I'll try, like, Path of Perils, then I'll try Voidwalkers next. I'm going to actually not bolt the bird. I'll try Path of Perils, and if they feel good, I'll keep that. Or maybe I'll try Voidwalkers, even if they are feeling good. Maybe I'll try both. But you know, I also think that like sideboarding, Necromancia. I mean, this is fine. I can just play a game. We could just play a game here. This is so funny. Like against like the other Calibrated Blast deck, you're like, no, turn 2 Necromancia, I can never win. And now you're like, wow, this kind of sucks. Look at my hand. Look at my hand against this Necromancia. Can you believe this is my hand against Necromancia? Just like the sideboard decision, should Verdict decks not have creatures like Sanctifier? Maybe. I know a lot of control players are really scared of the Scam matchup. Sanctifier is the best sideboard card there. You could flesh it out a little bit more and be like a more creature-focused blue-white deck with Elishnorn. Also, I think that Elishnorn is really, really good card in control, potentially. And you could like even just move away from Verdict and, you know, be a little bit more ETB-focused. And then Sanctifier helps you more. I'm not really sure about that entirely. Just kind of like general thoughts I've been having. We just go Binding plus Scion here. Binding on the wall. Yeah, I think comparing this like to Rhinos is really nice, and it's cool that you get to have, you know, some more cheap interaction, although you're kind of more constrained though by your domain cost too. Do you want any redundancy for Cottage, or is that enough top deck manipulation? Cottage is like it's not just Cottage. You have 12 fetch lands. You have 15 cottages in this deck, and like you just can't do any better as far as redundancy goes than 15 of like this effect, you know. I'll say this too. Every single time we have a really good brew, a really good idea like this, it just seems obvious in retrospect. You know what I mean? I feel like every single time we've had a good deck idea, a good brew, in retrospect, it just seems obvious. I think that here it really feels that way. Could this be a Hippo deck with some work? I don't think it would be worth it, probably. Let me just double check. Oh, yeah, you're not that far. The problem is, like, your sideboard gets a lot worse, too. But, yeah, you're not that far from Hippo. You could be a Hippo deck. You could play, like, 4th Fury, 4 Grief. Might try it at some point. Although, like, Respect the Cat will also definitely try it, so maybe we just let let them take care of it. Good Fury. I'd rather just bolt the Hierarch here. Yeah, you can play Dead Gone instead. Yeah. We're thinking about, again. Thoughtseize is also a really nice card to have in this deck. Like, the Thoughtseize combo decks typically are, can be somewhat premium. Best card for sets, Fable, Shredder, Binding, or something else. Probably has to be Fable from like that list. And Fable is definitely a card that I missed, but it's also like Fable. You have to cast that card. You just have to cast that card a few times to know how good it is. If we have Thoughtseize, do we need Grief? I mean, I think Thoughtseize is better than Grief. We're just talking about playing Karuga as a companion. I don't know. It's a conversation for sure. Okay, that just dies to the Scion attack. Prophecy is so cracked in this deck too. Putting Yawgmoth to 1 is really premium. So I could just go Blood Crypt Bolts. I think instead I'm gonna not get super lost in... Well, maybe I'll be a little lost in the Fancy Play Syndrome. But I'm actually just going to Godless Shrine, Leyline Binding Grist, and attack my opponent down to 4. So I'm threatening lethal next turn, and then I have 5 mana, so I can just start hardcasting Furies every turn if I miss. Yeah, so like the 5th land, let me just hardcast Fury if this doesn't work, I think is good. Crypt's Bolt attack puts to 1. Pitch Fury, kill Grist. Yeah, that line seems good too. I think that there were no bad lines, honestly, but this line I think is my favorite. What is this? No. Yeah, all roads lead to Rome. Alright, 3-0. 3-0 beating Scam, Creativity, Yawgmoth. Wait, his hand's... Okay, on the play, in the blind. Hand's very good if we draw a fetch land. Does basically nothing if we don't. Let's go to the mulligan. Would maybe keep on the draw, maybe not. Okay, I think on a mulligan to 6, we're going to go ahead and keep this one. Putting back second blast. Okay, interesting. Kind of wish I had kept another blast here, but if they're going to be milling me, I can blast them for a lot at once. And I do have the Emrakul on the sideboard, of course. And that just still not really leaving home without that card. I feel like we might want Prismari Command, or maybe Royal Scions for more discard loot redundancy, or is Pyro Fable the right number already? Well, I'm already only playing 6. I would play the 4th Fable before the first blue splash card. Of course, right? But I guess I should shock so Shadow of Mortality is easier to hardcast. But even just like beyond that, you have I think that 6 looting effects is fine, especially because like Scion is just castable and dies a lot of the time, and then you have 4 Shadow Prophecy which can mill over, which is even like very likely to mill over one of your 8 big creatures when you cast it. So in my mind we have 10 enablers, and that's like more than enough. And it's like about the right number of 3-drops to play. Royal Scions, which still love the card, also like really bad in the Unholy Heat format and bad in decks without cheap creatures to pump. Funny enough, this line is a little weak against Jace, but if they have Jace, they're paying at least 2 life to cast it, and then maybe more life to like fetch or shock. Yeah, we are probably pretty good against Tasha's, huh? So I actually need to upkeep Blast, because if my opponent plays a fetch land, they get to mess with my top of the library. Although they might like cycle the 3 mana thing here too. They might be holding it up. I think if they had it, they'd cycle it. Maybe not. Maybe they just want it. I don't know. I'm going to cast it. I can kill the crab too, maybe. Just such a disaster if they draw a fetch land and they play a lot of fetch lands. And when they're missing land drops, it's really hard for them to not cycle there, although if they're more familiar with the deck, we could maybe think that they would. Z saw, I think, with the 15 months. Hope you're doing well. Welcome, welcome. I'm trying to stand more while streaming. Get the standing desk up. Okay, 15. 15, target you. Visions, Ancestral Recall. They've had a completely painless draw this game, which is like a little unlucky for us. We get to know how much damage you do with Blast before you decide what target. Yes, you do. Okay, I think I'm just gonna flashback Blast in their upkeep. If I had a really low mana value card, I'd probably target the crab. Maybe they drew a drown, but they didn't have drown last turn. They get to draw 3 cards though. But also I have another Blast in the yard I can flashback potentially. Maybe even drawing a Cottage. You have a lot of Cottage effects in the deck too. Do a completely painless draw. Only 1 Calibrated Blast. If they drew 2 drowns, good beats. Maybe they had drown and they just like didn't counter because they're like unsure about how the deck works. I think I had main phase because like if they did draw double drown, good beats. But I think that like I don't want to let them like visions into drown or like cycle into it. Although they do have the double drown. That being said, like. I guess if they mill me completely, Calibrated Blast doesn't do any damage. But I still have 2 more blasts in the deck, and they're going to mill them over, and I think it's fine. Why not shock? Oh, I should have shocked. Dude, where are the fetches? Where are the shocks? I guess maybe I'm not wanting a fetch land so badly here, to be honest. I put an upkeep step on if I feel like I need to use it. I don't feel like I'm using it right now. How much is this? 10? 6? Not sure what the right line is here. Don't feel too bad about casting the Scion. I'm also just gonna put this, like, just put a card on top to, like, get milled for 1 less. Prophecy, try to find Blast. I'm thinking that, like, they're very, very likely to mill over another Blast here, and it's not that likely that they can kill this Scion because they've already used 2 drowns. It's not like that likely that they can, like, do much of anything, honestly. So as long as I can, like, survive being milled at this turn, which is maybe not that likely, I'm not sure. Then I'll be able to flash back a Blast. I think casting the Scion, I think has to be better than making tokens, right? Although yeah, maybe trying to cast Blast when they go for like lethal mill, that could be better. That could be better. And actually, I think likely could have won this game. We'll see. Tough game. It's always so hard to play against Mill. I'm gonna bring in the Emrakul. I'm gonna bring in the Plains. I have an extra basic for Field of Ruin. I think I'm cutting the Furies, and then I can play like 4 Voidwalkers, 24 lands, 63 cards overall. Let's do this. Yeah, seems fine. Seems fine. Yeah, it is funny that sometimes you can flip Blast, Emrakul with Blast. If Mill is super popular, is this deck like a main deck Emrakul? I would not main deck Emrakul even if Mill is really, really popular. It's just still better in the sideboard. Yeah, but usually one plays against Blood Moon decks. Okay, play. Keep. Cut 1 land, 1 Heartless Summoning. I would not cut 1 land or 1 Heartless Summoning under almost any circumstance. Definitely not for 2 March when Lay Down Arms is like... Yeah, Lay Down Arms would be the removal spot play. We never need more than 1 summoning. Yeah, I know you never need more than 1 summoning in the deck, but you really, really want the first one, so play 4. You really want to be able to play another when they counter the first one. Play 4. And you already have like 8 premium removal spells too. Okay, so they're turning off their Drowns. They're turning off any number of Surgicals. I have 4 Leyline Binding I can use to... I have 4 Leyline Binding I can potentially use to answer this. I have to find one, of course. Good draw. Emrakul plan turned off until we find a binding. I haven't seen Leyline very often. BGG shows. I mean, they can still cycle, but yeah. Do you is my opponent on like no fetch lands? I'm trying to think. I need to read the Jace. I need to like think about playing around that here. I guess that they could have Fatal Push in the deck. I mean, you wouldn't expect them to post board though. Plus, so it's going to come down with 3 loyalty plus to 4. I think I'm probably overthinking it a little bit. I think we'll also just go ahead and fetch main phase here to give them less windows to draw trap. Yeah, I keep forgetting the shock in this matchup. I'll, maybe remember at some point. Did they just draw the trap? No, they're just trying to keep me off domain. Which has worked. The Scion is now 6 mana and can't be less than 6. Should upkeep the blast and dealt them 12. The games against Mill are so weird, always. You could just never have a normal game against Mill. Milled over 3 lands. So did they board out? Do you board out Drown when you board on Leyline? Or do you just, like, not mind? Well, should upkeep Blasted, I guess. Should upkeep Blasted. They could play Bridge. Yeah. I do have still 4 Leyline Bindings in the deck. Three Leyline Bindings in the deck. I'm not really seeing a ton of reason to cast the Blast. I guess like if I draw a land, I can play my Scion. It's probably good enough of a reason to just use the mana now. Could also like cast Fury. Could also just win the game here, maybe. Okay. Any amount of damage was lethal if they had nothing. Also, weird game. I have 4 bindings as like potential answers to Leyline, which I think is enough Nothing else I could really bring in here. Could have like cut a card. Could have like cut a blast maybe. Let's run it back. What was on top? I guess I forgot to look. Jace, the Mind Sculptor in the sideboard of my deck? For the grindy matchups, right? Spike, any changes to the deck? No. Not yet. I'll make changes when I want to make changes, but I don't know. What can we do about people wanting changes before I've like even like finished a full league, you know? People are just so thirsty for updates. People updates. Yeah, no Leyline's really nice. Spike, I know you haven't finished a full league. What do you want to change? Yeah, I know that Jace would be the brainstorm back fatties. Jace is like, you know, a double blue card in your Mardu deck though, and in a mana base that's playing all swamps. It wouldn't be uncastable, but it also wouldn't just wouldn't be that good. Oh, so I meant to get Godless Shrine here. Damn it. Kind of awkward actually. Won't be the end of the world. How the portion sizes? How do I phrase this? They're not bad. They're like reasonable though. They're reasonable. They're like a healthy meal. You'll get to see on Sunday if you tune in for the cooking stream. Esther's really excited for the cooking stream, so if y'all could, you know, tune in and hype her up, she'd love it. Okay, bridge. We can beat that with blast and or binding. Okay, I can blast for 15 next turn. Bridge isn't that uncommon. I do think that the like every plate Hellfresh, it's good. It's not like necessarily amazing for. I guess it would be good for one person if you're like really committing to eating all of it and like that's just your food. Okay, I do have the planes to get, but they are cutting me off of Cottage next turn. But it's like it's hard to like eat anything else and like actually eat all the food probably for one person, but that's okay. Kind of, but that's also like that is the issue with being a single person and groceries in general, right? That was always my issue. Was like you either have to go to the store like every like 3 days or food goes bad. That was always my issue as a single person. Maybe I just like sucked at shopping, but extirpate Shadow of Mortality. That's fine. Batch cooking. Yeah, I guess I was just never that good at it. I suppose. That's how food's supposed to work. Well, with a bigger family, I guess it's the same with a bigger family, anyways, huh? Thankfully, Esther really likes cooking and really likes shopping. I'm so lucky. I'm so lucky to have that dynamic in my life. Because if I could just like eat a pill every day and I would never have to eat again, I would. Instead of like having to like eat, I would just take a pill. Not that I like hate food, but I kind of like prefer my time more than I like food, I guess. I guess we're gonna start blasting. What if the pill was made of people? I mean, even better, right? What a weird question. Of course I'd want it to be made of people. What are you talking about? So anyways, I started blasting. Wait, where's my other Triome? It's in the yard, huh? I guess this is really bad against them having another Surgical in their hand. As the last card, though. Holy shit. really need a Leyline now. Let's go. So lucky. Streamer luck, I know. I mean, we still have the Emrakul in the deck, so we're like, we weren't in the worst shape in general, maybe. They extirpated my Shadow of Mortality. So we still have Scion. So we have only 2 Scions in the deck now, I guess. And I'm shocking for no reason. Although, keep the reason to keep the Cottage in the deck. Ooh. That's kind of nice. Yeah, hardcast Emrakul with enough treasures. Maybe, like, actually a good reason to be copying the Shaman. Especially because my hand is pretty good. Like, I want to keep the binding for another bridge. So they drew a surgical. Target the blast, right? Yeah. Okay, well. Honestly, like, every time they surgical, like, something that's not Emrakul 2, it's, like, not the end of the world. You know, they're at 27, but they're top decking. We have plenty of turns. We're attacking for, like, at least 5 a turn. Yeah, unironically, stockpiling treasures if we draw Emrakul. Funny game. Oh, this is 7. This is 7 on 5. Yeah, it's pretty fast clock. Save the banding for another bridge. Let's play kind of slow. It's okay. I really missed the standing desk. I feel like I just haven't been standing at all. And it's honestly because like the Dark Souls stuff is like, you know, kind of exhausting. But no Dark Souls today because my controller is broken. Great news. Isn't it better to copy reflection opponent's incept? You can't do that with only 1 reflection. You need 2. But our clock is already pretty fast. What happens to the controller? I didn't like throw it or anything, but just like the attack button's fucked up. It's just like spamming the attack button by itself, which I guess is what happens when you play the game every single day and like press it like 1,000 times a day for months. So I ordered another one. It's going to come in the mail tomorrow, I think. But I'm just going to wait a couple days. But the runs have been pretty good. Guess I could discard these 2 and then like fetch a Cottage if I want to. Maybe just never matters. Yeah, there's only 2 Fables. Not the. I guess my opponent should know that. They've surgicaled me a lot, huh? I use a Xbox One controller. Tribal Flames in this? Not a bad thought. Not a bad thought. Maybe a little slow, but I like the idea. Something to consider. Yeah, I just got the same one. I mean, I think it would be crazy to switch it up, right? I really this one just fits my hands perfectly. I think the Xbox One controller is really, really good. This is what I'm used to, at least. That's all that really matters. Okay, let's get a trophy prediction going. Deck has been awesome this league. Keep this hand. Good hand. What did I say the weakest card in the deck is? I mean, Shadow of Mortality, for sure. We've cast it a couple times, though. Basic Plains. I don't know why I keep fucking up my mouse sensitivity today, too. Could this possibly be a Through the Breach Emrakul shell? Well, the Emrakul doesn't play very well with the Cottage game plan. It doesn't play horribly with it either, but for the most part, you... for the most part, like, you want the creature to just stay in the yard till you're ready to Cottage it back instead of having the shuffle trigger. Okay, so I'm going to actually commit to killing the Sentinel this turn so I don't just fall too behind, so I can play my Fable next turn if I want to. Just take the 2 for 1. Could you argue cutting Shadow for Leveler? Leveler is only 5 mana, right? Are we talking about a different card? Shadow is the best option by a lot. Oh, it's the Humans deck. Okay. Misery Shadow it's a black card in your all swamp deck. It's a really good option here in my opinion. No! Dude, they're playing Shoal. They're playing the stupid Shoal card. It's so good against me. I can't believe it. I can't believe how good it is against me here. I have to keep these Thoughtseizes. Oh my gosh. What a nightmare. Okay, so I'm going to discard, I think, Shadow Prophecy, Calibrated Blast. Let's go Seasoned Pyromancer, discard both Shadows. Draw 2 more? Okay, then I'm going to attack, and I'm going to Leyline Binding Adeline before damage. And I want to set up Fable plus Seasoned Pyromancer if I can, so it's not block with the Spyro, probably chump block. I can't believe I have to prioritize keeping Thoughtseize here. It's so silly. Okay, do I want to take 4 actually? If I take 4, then Shadow costs 4 mana. Could take 5. I think the answer is no. I don't want to take 4, not yet at least. Although I guess I can go Thoughtseize, Godless Shrine, go down to 9. Cost 4. If I attack, I can cast Shadow. Dude, their hand is so good. Isn't Shining Shield not especially good here anyways? No, it's incredibly good. Yeah, their deck plays Chancellor and then Amaria's Call. Yeah, why don't they play the White Force too? Maybe it's not that good. Seems okay. Seems good with Adeline. Okay, they didn't draw the land to go Aspirant Lieutenant. They also, I don't think, have a great attack this turn. I also think that I am going to, in my upkeep, copy Seasoned Pyromancer. How likely they're playing Solitude during Shoal? I mean, the list doesn't usually run Solitude main deck. Is it better than copying Shadow and going in? I think so, yeah. I think it does. Why copy Sprout and upkeep? So this way I get 3 cards in my hand instead of 2. So I can go Cottage, back Shadow, and set up for a Blast for 15 next turn. My opponent's hand is Thales Lieutenant, Chancellor, Mystery card. If that Mystery card is another Shoal, they get to redirect 7 of that damage back to my face, which is not 9. I guess I can also potentially... I can just, like, discard... Well, hold on. Yeah, no, I still want to upkeep it, I think. Okay. At least have the option to. Dude, Aspirant is so good. The curve of Sentinel into Aspirant is a really strong start in Modern. And I've also been thinking that Esper Sentinel plus Force is really exciting, where you could like to respond to the trigger and stuff. Well, that's something good. So yeah, I'm sure some Solitude in the 75 is reasonable. I feel like I haven't seen it very often, but I don't doubt that they're there. No attacks. Okay, so we get to go upkeep, blast. Hopefully Shoal is not the one mystery card. Their hand is Chancellor Lieutenant mystery card. It's not, thankfully. So I'm going to discard just the Mire here, I think. And then, I think let's not put Shadow on top. But I think copying Shadow and forcing 2 blocks and having 4 blockers on defense seems like a really good line here. You're on defense, opponent. I'm not on defense. I don't think they play Brave the Elements. That would be a card we could die to, though. Can give lifelink with the Scion next turn. Why not Bolt on top? Witch's Cottage is not like a combination Mystic Sanctuary Witch's Cottage. It only puts creatures on top. It would be banned if it could put spells on top, probably. Shining Soul for Fury decks. It's just kind of good. You just redirect to any target. It does a ton of damage. It's good against Fury, right? It's just good against everything, really. Just almost every deck besides Control and like spell-based combo. I guess I could just copy the Scion, actually. Okay, up a game. Yeah, it is obvious. The other day, someone... I keep thinking about this interaction. I shouldn't be. But the other day, someone suggested like a line with the Goblin combo that didn't work. I said, no, you don't know how the combo works. And then they said, that was a really rude, Spike. And I'm like, oh, how was I supposed to respond? Alright, so I need to keep in some Thoughtseizes. What if we do this? No Shadow Prophecy, 3 Thoughtseize, 3 Path, 1 Tourach, 1 Terminate. This is pretty good. It was a third party. Oh, a third party. I didn't realize that. But still, I don't like. Maybe they're just teasing too. I took it too seriously, like usual. Like usual. Yeah, Path of Peril is great. But I just keep thinking about that interaction. And, like, usually I go into detail and explain the combo or whatever when I see stuff like that, but I had already explained it, like, several times on stream. Anywhere where you want some number of Tribal Flames over Terminate. So, Terminate is here to kill, like, Murktide Regent specifically, and, like, Primeval Titan to, like, a lesser extent. Tribal Flames doesn't do those two things. That being said, Tribal Flames is a card we could play here. It's definitely something to think about. Don't you want to fill up on creature removal against the creature deck? Why not bring in second Terminate? Terminate's not that good against their deck in general. Like, people always think about removal against the removal deck, but their deck's like pretty good against 2 mana 1-for-1 removal. It's not like a card that does nothing, but it's just like it's like the least premium removal spell compared to Binding, Bolt, Fury by a lot. I think I'm gonna keep the double Bolt hand on the draw. Maybe a little loose, but they're also on a mulligan to 6. Any thoughts on Solitude in the sideboard? We don't have nearly... We only have 4 white cards in the deck, so you would have to play a very, very different build to support Solitude. Is there a amount I would do for a donation deck? Yeah, not for sale, not for sale. I'm sure there is a number, but I'm not, like, really interested in negotiating. It would honestly, like, be pretty similar to, like, my sponsor rates, which are, like, you know, 4 figures. But, I just want to play what I want to play, and I don't want to negotiate. Well, drawing 2 lands on the 5-lander makes this hand a little bit worse. Nice to have, you know, bindings against the Sanctifier, but still pretty good card against us overall. Scion is actually a pretty good answer to this too. Per week or per month? I mean, yeah, per month. I mean, I don't know. It's like not like much more than that, but yeah, per month. Double Sanctifier. Okay, I'll just take any spell here. Not like this. I guess we have game 3, huh? Oh, we also have Path of Peril in the deck too. We have so many good draws. One for one removal. This is 1 mana instead of 2. This is 1 mana instead of 2, which is really relevant against their deck. Is the big difference between this and Terminate. But also, like, the one against a mulligan, especially, they're on a mulligan to 6. Like, I'm more likely to keep a hand like this. Because, like, 1 for 1 is more premium against mulligans too. There's, like, a lot of factors. I could also just be wrong. Again, I could just be wrong. You know what I mean? If you're wrong, you can, yeah, let me know. Okay, so I get to gain 4. Which is, you know, just this attack. Too bad I can't Cottage it back. Oh, brutal. Okay, I really need to draw Path of Peril or another Scion. Path would be awesome. Bummer. But also, like, you know, it's my first time sideboarding with the deck. So again, a lot of times I just start with a plan. I like to start with, like, my first impulse and then, like, evolve the plan over time. Like, the sideboarding is just, like, with these new brews is never going to be as tuned as, you know, someone who streams Murktide every day. I had another turn. I guess I had another turn. I was just kind of off of it. But yeah, I should have definitely taken another draw step. Yeah. Maybe I will try a second Terminate over the third Thoughtseize, though. Hidetsugu isn't considered because of Rip. Yeah, the Rest in Peace effect is rough, but also Path of Peril kills Sanctifier and Hidetsugu doesn't. I honestly, like, have a really hard time in any red-black deck wanting to play any number of Hidetsugu over, like, the 4th Path of Peril. Just, like, killing, like, I know that I always die too, stupid, I know I'm always out here dying to Sanctifier and Vac with red-black decks. I'll play this Triumph first. We can play the Godless Shrine have Binding on turn 2. Runs to the Mold to 6. Is Terminate better than Vindicate? Yeah, I mean, it was a sideboard card for Murktide Regent. And Terminate is better than Vindicate in Modern in general. Okay, how often am I guess I'm casting Binding. Or, well, I guess we're casting Terminate instead. Wow, we boarded it in, huh? Go to discard that turn? Not really a fan, I think. Can also just be using this as a removal spell next turn. Like, if they play Adeline this turn, just can blast, kill Thalia. I notice I seem to be super low on E. I basically never seen your sideboards. Why is that? I know these are, like, super duper general questions, but, like, for the most part, if I'm not playing it, I don't think it goes in that specific deck. I had a deck last night. I had it on my sideboard when I was off stream. It's just like, I don't know. You might have Murktide brain to some extent, where Murktide has to play explosives because it deals with Sanctifier and Vec, and, like, it has other value too. But in general, explosives is not a particularly premium card in Modern at the moment. It's getting better though. Rhinos is getting more popular. So I go down to 14 here, and then if I draw a fetch land, I can go fetch shock down to 11, and then play this for 4. So I think it's worth taking the hit here, and then maybe binding something else. Or if they don't play anything else, I could also just hold the binding and blast the Thalia. I can still, 2 mana plus pay for Sentinel here. You can't bless die. I'm talking about next turn. I'm talking about next turn, chat. You did not look at chat during these 5-0 matches. Mana Tithe? They can't cast Mana Tithe. I guess they can't have to play a land. I don't know. Again, I just need to not look at chat. It's just always in these kind of situations not very helpful. Go to 13, cost 7 less, 6 mana total. I just blast. Terminate was the revealed card. Yeah, they could Shoal, but Shoal, again, it only redirects 7 damage. I could cast the Shadow. It wouldn't be the end of the world. Yeah, you get to choose the target after you know the card. Okay, I'm definitely going to play this to get the second red source. And then... They might like main phase Thales Lieutenant and like take a different line if we wait. I guess it almost like could never matter, right? The timing on the binding. I guess if they disenchant in response, they get to attack here. No! Fuck! The timing on the binding matters if my beginning of combat step is just randomly gone. Damn it. I don't know where that went. It's not the end of the world. They just get 1 token, but they also have like 3 spells in their hand, although they could be like Chancellor, Emeria, right? Not the mysterious stuff. Although does this let me just cast my Shadow here? Okay, they're unloading. Maybe we'll like also ever draw a Fury or a Path of Peril. Let's go. Let's go. They're down to 1 card. We have Calibrated Blast of the Yard. Can cast our Shadow. Yeah, Streamer Luck again. So this is now 4 mana. My Shadow math is not... or this Shadow math is not very consistent. Oh, fuck. Oh, this... Yeah, it's way off. No, this will be 4 mana next turn. A Scion would be awesome. We get these like 7/7 lifelinkers. If they have a Shoal plus 7 drop, we die. But now we have Lethal and the Crackback. Funny enough, taking that 1 extra damage ended up being a net positive for us. So weird. Immediately attacking. They might have Hardcast Solitude here. So if they have Hardcast Solitude, I need to main phase the Shadow so I can actually cast it. Can't they just block with the vaults? They can. Oh. They can. They won't. I'm playing around Hardcast Solitude though. But no matter what, I'm casting the Shadow this turn. I'm just like doing it in a way that plays around Solitude. There's no other line. Disrupting Shoal. I think Shoal's trigger goes on the stack, unlike Deflecting Palm. I'm not sure. How's Blast Spin? Well, we're about to... I know I can't stop looking at chat. I can't stop looking at chat. Like, well, I can't complain about flooding because we did draw the land when we needed it. No trigger. Okay, so if they Shoal, we draw. So I'm gonna attack. Let me go to game 4. What else can they have here? 4 lands in a row, Rip Dreams. Oh. They don't have it. Wow, that was such a stressful match. But we got there. Who starts game 4? I think who was ever on the play for the last game starts. I'm not 100% sure. Alright, Spike, I know that you 5-0'd, but do we want to make any changes? Maybe, honestly. More likely to just run it back. Open the Flooded Stram. I love this card. This card is so cool. Not Mono Regal, though. Yeah, I don't know about the Tribal Flames. I think one thing I might want to try are...